GGRC.
Hey everybody, and welcome to another episode of GGRC. I'm RC, and today we're going to be talking about arcades. So I'm actually a big fan of arcades. I like old school games, I like old school arcade cabinets, I like pinball, I like all that stuff, you know? And it's been really cool because the past few years, the barcade scene has been getting very, very crazy. So in Detroit, I live here in Michigan, I live near Detroit, a few have actually popped up recently, and one of them is this one, Pop OFFWORLD. So Pop OFFWORLD is located in downtown Detroit, just above the Checker Bar. It's actually really cool because you can go into the Checker Bar, have lunch, have a couple drinks, and then you can head upstairs, play some games, and have a few more drinks and maybe some pizza. So did I say that this barcade is upstairs? Yes, this barcade is upstairs. So for those of you who are looking for an easy to access barcade, you're going to have to keep in mind here that you are going to have to go up a couple flights of stairs to get up there. But once you get up there, it's really cool. Now the first thing you're going to see when you get to the top of the stairs is the bar. Of course, as we mentioned, this is a barcade, so you can go up there, you can get a beer, you can get a mixed drink, whatever you want. But more importantly, you can get pizza. I mean, you can't go wrong with pizza, right? But what also is cool is that you'll notice that they actually have art for a lot of different games all over the place up behind the bar. And of course, if you want to just relax and have a couple drinks while the kids are playing games or while your friends are playing games, or if you just want to take a break, you can sit there and they do put on movies and stuff that you can watch while you're drinking. Now before we get into the games, because they actually do have a really good collection of games here, I want to point out that they take quarters. So you're going to be putting dollar bills in using quarters. No tokens are used here. I just knew this would probably come up in the comments, so I just want to tell you right off the bat. So I actually got a little bit of video here, and I wanted to kind of show off what it's like to walk through this barcade. So you can see right off the bat, this is actually the opposite side of the bar. Behind us would be the bar. This is the DJ booth here. So they play music here during the day and everything. I actually have the sound turned off on the video here once we get started because I don't want any copyright strikes or them to pull down the video just in case it's somebody else's music. But regardless, I'm sure what they have here is basically like at night, you know, the college students come in, they play music, and DJ comes in, you know, probably does his thing while the college kids are hanging out playing games, eating pizza and drinking and stuff, which just sounds like a good time. But here we go. Let's take a left over here. So you can see immediately we go into pinball, and we have Twilight Zone, we have Simpsons, we have Game of Thrones, we have Elvira, and we have this really cool Star Wars pinball machine, which I had not played yet before. I think it's a newer machine. But as we turn over to the left, you can actually see Outrun way over here. House of the Dead 2, which me and my wife actually got to play through just a bit, which was a lot of fun. We have Dragon's Lair. And then next to that, another pinball machine, Starship Troopers. Me and my wife actually played the Starship Troopers pinball machine quite a few times because I think this was the first time I actually played that one too. You get a multi-ball in that one pretty easily, so it was very satisfying to play it. Next to Starship Troopers, you can see they also have Mortal Kombat 2, which one of my favorite Mortal Kombats, obviously. We turn the corner here. Obviously, there's my wife playing Miss Pac-Man. We have Frogger. We have Lode Runner over here. And as we turn around here, we have Galaga. We have Forgotten Worlds, which again is the first time I actually got a chance to play this arcade machine. And it might be one of my new favorite arcade games because I was playing it and I was like, wow, this is really good. How have I not heard of this? And it's a Capcom game too. I hope it's one of those games that they actually re-release at some point on the consoles because I think it'd be a lot of fun to play. But check that one out if you haven't heard of it. There's Mappy Land. And then we have Centipede, we have Dig Dug. Over here we have Crystal Castles with the bear. I forget his name. Is it Bentley the bear? But I played a little bit of that. That game is tough, guys. If you haven't played that one, it is tough. Right behind Crystal Castles, we have Burger Time, which is a ton of fun as well. As we move on here, you see we turn around. There's Dig Dug. We have Tron. There's Centipede. I'm sorry, that must have been Millipede before that. We have Bad Dudes. We have a RoboCop game. We have Qbert. We have another game that I miss, Virtual Pinball. The Simpsons arcade game, which is a great get. Some little game there, I wasn't quite sure what that was. We have some Neo Geo SNK games here. We have Paperboy. Really wanted to check out that Neo Geo machine there. There we go, Double Dragon, another classic. Of course, here's the marquee for Burger Time too. So a bit more for you here. That game that was next to the Simpsons machine was actually an Arkanoid machine, which I was pretty excited about. I did get to play a round of that, which was a ton of fun. Completely forgot about it though. So here we go, we're going to be going around the other way, because there are two rows of games here. So just to show off Simpsons, Arkanoid here. Then we have Defender, another great classic. Then we have Smash TV, again, another great game. Very hard though. Here we have Star Wars, which is a good fun game as well. Asteroids. Who doesn't like asteroids? And then you have Rampage here too. Okay, and moving on from Rampage here, it actually moves into, of course, Street Fighter 2 Championship Edition. Like, what trip to the arcade is complete without playing some Street Fighter, right? And of course, even more so, what arcade trip is complete without playing a round of Donkey Kong? You gotta play Donkey Kong. And of course, there's the Outrun machine that we saw earlier that's next to the House of the Dead 2 machine. So we spin around over here, and you can actually see on the other side, you got plenty of seats for hanging out, having a few drinks, eating pizza and stuff like that. But there are actually 3 classic games on the other side too. Ladies and gentlemen, Sushi has decided to join us for the rest of this video here. But here is an image of those 3 games. I didn't realize that I actually got an image of them. But here is Turtles in Time, as I talked about. Like I said, it's not a machine that I don't think I've ever seen that in the wild before, so that's a new one for me. There's the Terminator 2 Judgment Day machine, and there is NBA Jam. Alright guys, so I kind of gave you the tour of the place, you know, and if you're thinking about going here, let me give you some pros and cons here to think about. So, here's the thing. They've got a really good selection of games here. And if you go during the day, there's not going to be anybody there. You're going to have pretty much your run of the place, which is awesome, right? The detriment to going during the day was that when me and my wife went, as nobody was there, we had full range of all the games, but when we sat down to get a drink and pizza, the pizza was a bit stale, okay? So I think they open up at 11. I don't think they had much foot traffic there. So when we ordered pizza at, you know, I would say, you know, probably 12:30, 1 o'clock, somewhere around there, I had 2 slices, my wife had 1. She complained that the pizza was a bit stale, and you know, at that point I was pretty damn hungry, so I ended up eating 2 pieces of it. But yeah, it was just okay. But I imagine it's one of those things where if you go at night and they're slinging pizza constantly, it's probably going to be a lot more fresh. So that's something to consider. So if you're going to go, maybe the perfect time to go would be, you know, sometime around 3 p.m. when people start piling in to eat pizza, if you're looking to get fresh pizza. However, if you're going to just play games and you're not worried about pizza or anything like that, this is the place to go to play games during the day. If you can get off of work early, head there as soon as they open, this is the place to go, because you're like I said, you're gonna have your run of the place. You'll be able to play anything you want as much as you want, and no one's gonna be in your way, which is great. On top of that, for an arcade, not only do they have a good selection of arcade games, but they have a good selection of pinball machines. Now, they may only have 5 or 6 pinball machines, but the ones that they have picked out are really, really good. A couple of those were the first time I played it: Starship Troopers and the Elvira machine, and actually the Star Wars machine. So actually 3 of them. 3 of them were the first time I had played those before. And while you know, the Star Wars one I thought was okay, the Elvira one and the Starship Troopers one I had a really good time with. And of course, if you haven't played pinball before, definitely recommend checking out the Twilight Zone machine and the Starship Troopers machine, because both of those I think are going to be pretty good entry-level pinball machines for you. Now, of course, if you're more of a night owl, I can't really speak to this place because I haven't been there at night. However, what I can say though is that it has a great atmosphere. I love the lights that are up top. I only imagine that it has this, like, you know, nice dimly lit atmosphere in the middle of the night when you're there hanging out with friends and everything. I imagine it's going to get packed down there because it's in a pretty busy part of Detroit that gets a lot of foot traffic at night, especially on the weekends around a Friday night. However, if you're into the crowd, you're into getting some drinks, you're into music, and you're into playing a few games just for kicks or whatever, this place would probably be a really good time. Well, there you go, everybody. That is POP Offworld in Detroit. Definitely recommend checking it out if you're in the area. It's a ton of fun. And GG, everybody. I'll see you all next time.
GRC.